What's up, guys? This is Big D, and I am the Grim Rider. I'm out on the Undertaker today, and it's getting kind of cold, so this might be my last chance to get out on the bike, and I decided that I was going to take this opportunity to get something off my chest and to inform you guys on what's going to be happening with this channel in the future. So first off, what it is that I need to get off my chest. I've recently realized that I've come to a dead end, and I had to face some facts about what I'm doing and with this channel. And so what does that mean? Well, what that means is I've been paying a lot of attention, probably too much attention, to the analytics recently, and it has destroyed my confidence and my will to continue to do this. Now, it's not saying that I'm not going to continue to do YouTube. That's not what I'm saying at all, and I'll explain here in just a little bit. But, you know, I know a lot of people say that, you know, not to pay attention to the analytics, to not pay attention to those things, and I've tried. I really have, but I do pay attention to those things because they are tools, you know, that are there for you to measure your success and to measure what it is that you're doing, and if anything's working, if you're growing or not, and, you know, that sort of thing. So it's hard for me not to pay attention to those things. I pay attention to those things because I want this channel to grow. I want this channel to be successful. You know, I had big dreams. I had big dreams of this being successful enough to either quit my job entirely, or if nothing else, to at least do maybe something part-time, so that I can devote more time to this. You know, something that I enjoy doing. I mean, that's the all-American dream, right? Do something that you enjoy doing for a living. You know, again, or if nothing else, as part of a living, or, you know, along with something else. But I've realized, one of the realizations is that's not going to happen. That's never going to happen with this. And it's not going to happen for several reasons. One of those reasons is that there are multiple problems with this platform. There's multiple problems with this YouTube platform. And I'm not going to get into all of that right now because I could go all day just about that alone. But like the algorithm, you know, the YouTube AI, essentially, it's flawed. It's flawed on a major scale. And it makes it almost impossible for small channels such as myself, or people just starting out, to get anywhere and to be successful with this. You know, you have to hit certain milestones, and even in order to use half of the things that you can do with this platform. Like the live streams is an example. Just to throw one out there, the live streams. I wanted to be able to get to a point where I could maybe do live streams, like with the Shattered Glass Saloon. The original intention of the Shattered Glass Saloon was to be able to talk about something motorcycle related and to start a conversation with you, the audience. And since I couldn't do that with live streams, it was just, okay, this is what my feeling and opinion is on it. Drop your comments below. But I thought it'd be awesome to be able to do that as a full-on live stream and be able to do it live and you know, with the audience and really have an actual back and forth. But I can never do that if I can't reach certain milestones on this platform. And that's not going to happen when the algorithm doesn't let anybody know that I even exist, right? And so that brings me to my next point, social media. Social media is a tool that can be used to kind of bridge that gap, to kind of get around that algorithm that YouTube has. I have many problems with social media. First and foremost, I hate social media. I despise everything about it and its very existence for multiple reasons. And once again, I'm not even going to get into all of that because I could go all day long just about that alone. But the fact of the matter is that I hate it. But it can be a decent tool for creators either such as myself, or whether it's this, or whether it's music, or whether you do painting, or whether you are starting a small business, or you provide some kind of service for people, or whatever, to get your name out there, social media can be a great thing, but that's, I want to say 95% is that's not what social media is used for. And that's what really irritates me to death, and I'm going to leave it at that. But I don't like social media. I despise it to my core. On top of the fact, the main point is I don't have the time to use it to its fullest, to make the most out of it and make the most impact with it. And again, even if I did have that kind of time, I might not use it anyways due to the fact that I despise it so much. But because of that, I'm never going to have that social media presence in order to therefore make something like this channel function. It doesn't work without a massive social media presence. And so, you add those couple things together, and it's very hard for this to be a success. And, I've been doing this now for 6 years. Over 6 years. I've been doing this, and granted, I will admit right here and now that I haven't devoted the time and effort that I should have across that 6 years. But for at least the last 3, I have devoted every spare minute of my time to filming content and editing it, just the creation of it, just to put it out here, to release something like on a weekly basis, and to have like a structure and a schedule, and it's everything that I can do to put something out all the time. For an example, this will be my 55th video this year, and I did 59 videos last year. So total, that's 114 videos in the last 2 years alone, not counting all the other previous years. Now, those numbers might not mean squat to most YouTubers. Regardless whether it's motovlogs or not, a lot of people out there probably do that 114 in several months or a year, let alone 2. But again, that when it comes down to that's the amount of time that I have to do 114 in 2 years, over 50 a year. To me, that's pretty good. But as far as I'm concerned, this is just me personally, I'm not seeing the growth that I feel that I should be seeing for that amount of work and that amount of effort. I've always been told my whole life that hard work pays off. And for me, in this instance, it hasn't. It simply hasn't paid off at all. It's only paid me in nothing but irritation and frustration. And, again, these last few years, I've devoted every spare minute of my time to see very, very little results. Not to say, I'm not going to dismiss the results that I have seen. I have seen a little bit of growth, year after year. And there's a small number of you that watch everything that I do, and I can't put into words how much that means to me. I have no way to express how much it means to me that there is a small handful of you out there that watch everything I do. It means a lot. But for this amount of work and effort, I feel like it just should be a little bit more than that. And on top of that, being that every spare minute of my time goes to this, I have time for nothing else. Over these last couple years, this is all I've done. I have other things that I like to do, other hobbies, other interests, that I don't have time for. I don't have time to even spend with some friends and family a lot of the time, just because this is all I have time to focus on. And at this point, to me, it comes down to put that much time and that much work and that much effort to see very little results, it makes me question why I'm even doing this in the first place. You know, and add that to the fact that I don't have the necessary time for filming and editing and building a necessary social media presence. The fact of the matter is, this is never going to be what I wanted it to be. Ever. It's never going to grow and be as successful as I wanted it to be to realize those big dreams and goals. And those are facts that I had to face. That's a realization that I had to come to terms with, and I had to accept that. So, you know, really, I guess what that means is continuing to do what I'm doing no longer makes sense. And I was insane to think that with my consistency and hard work, I would eventually see a breakthrough that was never coming. It just wasn't going to happen, and I was insane to think that that was going to happen. And you know, the definition of insanity is continuing to do the same thing over and over and over and over again, expecting different results. And that's what I was expecting to happen. I was hoping that to continue to be consistent, to put in that work and that effort and release something on a weekly basis on that schedule, that I would see, you know, that breakthrough and that growth and that success. And thinking on it now, and with the problems with this platform and the social media aspect and all that considered, it just wasn't going to happen. It was never going to happen, and I finally had to face that fact. So what does that mean? What does this entire rant even mean? Well, it simply means this. I had mentioned before, I'm not going to quit and just give up on YouTube completely. But I realized I need to get back to doing this for the reason I started it in the first place. And what I started it for in the first place 6 years ago was simply to document places that I've gone, things that I've seen, new experiences, new places that I've gone, new places I've seen, new events that I've gone to, a way to relive and look back on new experiences. So I have something to look back on, not just pictures or not just the memory, but something that I can watch and look back on to relive those memories. And instead, a couple years ago, I made the conscious decision of trying to do, I guess, in my opinion, the typical YouTube thing, and that's cater to an audience that doesn't even know I exist in the first place. And may not ever know that I exist, but doing things a certain way that just everybody else does them that way. That's just the cookie cutter way of doing it because that's what's successful, instead of doing this for what I started it for in the first place. So I guess my whole point is I need to get back to doing that, and what that means is simply this. Going forward, I will not be putting up new videos every week. To continue to do that makes no sense anymore. You know, I've gotten to a point where I was doing motovlogs and road stories and every week, you know, every time I get a chance on the weekend, trying to find somewhere to go, something to film, just so I have something to put up, some kind of content available. You know, and to me, it's affected what my content is. You know, I put in too much effort and emphasis on quantity instead of quality, and I need to stop that, and I just need to do this for me now. And I just hope that you guys that have been around and been watching everything that I do, that you still will stick around for those new experiences and the things that I do film and put together and put up here for the world to see. So, essentially, that's what's going to be happening, and this video here will most likely be my last video of the year. Again, it is getting colder, and I don't have any other ideas for things to do this year, other places to ride to and things to go to and see, and so this will probably be my last video, unless, you know, we do get a chance to start doing some kind of motorcycle project that I had mentioned in my last video with selling those motorcycle parts and maybe getting some kind of motorcycle project. If we do get to do something like that, you may see an occasional video here and there, but there is going to be no schedule anymore. There is going to be no plan of when I'm releasing things. I'm going to be filming things when I can, or when there's something new, and releasing it when that time comes. So that's going to be the main difference. That's going to be happening in the future. And so, yeah, this will be my last video for the year unless something else comes up. And when it comes to next year, when it comes to next spring, I have no plan of when I'm going to start. It's just when, you know, I guess my first ride comes around that I feel like will be good content here for the channel, and start back up then and just doing things, you know, when I feel the content is, you know, worthy enough to go up here on the channel. So that's what I wanted to get off my chest. That's what I wanted to relate to everybody, and you know, the facts that I've learned and the realizations that I had to come to, and I just needed to share that, get that off my chest. And you know, I guess with that being said, that's all I got to say for now. And with that, I guess I'm gonna head on down the road, and you can subscribe if you want to, and until next time, whenever that may be, I guess I'll see you guys later.